Snubbed at the State of the Kabuki Theater address. Not that I was really expecting him to say anything, but it would have been nice. It would have been nice. I tried. So I always find it sad when I actually look forward to these things. You know, like FOMC meetings, State of the Union address. Like what has my life become? If that's what I'm, that's like, oh, I can't wait. And there I was watching it, just like I'm too hardline now. All I do is I see a bunch of old rent-seeking reptilian parasite PDFs in a room. And we talked about this the other day. There's people in that room that have seen the unredacted file. So they're looking. They're maybe even sitting beside these demons, right? Most people could never go on, right? They're just like, imagine your coworker at the water fountain. Hey, you watched Seinfeld last night? It's like, hey, don't talk to me about Seinfeld. You know what I'm about to say. They're there. They're their co-workers. These demons. Like I said, stakes, ropes, fire. It's the only thing that will get us through this. Unfortunately, there's no other way, right? And maybe that's every time I start leaning towards something, I think, oh man, I've been psyoped. I've been psyoped to think this way. You always got to wonder, am I being psyoped? Because usually are. Yesterday, we said, but step one of our bullish prowess would be to get back to the mean. Just a simple reversion. We did. Now, it doesn't look like much, or it doesn't feel like much, but it was actually, this was yesterday, so we kind of went 62.5. It's a 7% gain, right? I know, it doesn't really feel great, but better than 7% down. Let's look at it that way. It's better than 7% down. We're above 66. I remember on Monday saying, when we get back to 66, we'll be pretty excited. Are we? No. But that's step one of two. Step two is to hit our rejection zone, which is now right by the 200 moving average, the confluent 200 moving average. Now, will we see that? Yeah, maybe. It'll take a weird. There's a slight shift. Like I'm talking. Like if the button for bullishness was a clicker that had 100 clicks, it clicked once, right? There's just clicked once into slightly more bullish, because all people really need are excuses, right? They need excuses and reasons, when really, it's just the money system. If there's enough water in the bath, it goes up. If they pull the plug, the water goes down and nothing will go up, right? Especially something like Bitcoin. And now you factor in the seasonality of it. We have essentially a month to get here, 74.5, based on what this sitcom did last season, right? This sitcom tended to arc at the end of the season, Q4, but it didn't. And then it tends to kind of get out with a whimper, like it did last season. But if we just follow this season, we have about a month to get to 74.5. Now, could we go higher? Like when I say could we go higher, it seems crazy. Higher than 74.5? Are you crazy? We should be lucky if we get to 74.5. Not really. We should be way higher. Our bear market should be around 100K. That should have been the that would have been a satisfying bear market. Like, oh my God. And then all your normie friends, how does that? Oh, it looks like Bitcoin's back to 100K. You were getting those a lot at the old squash club. How's your Bitcoin doing? But those are people that have zero exposure to it. and lame jobs that they hate and wives that they loathe. That's why they're at the men's club, right? Because they're just miserable people sometimes. God love them, right? Now, can we get to 74.5 in the next 4 weeks? Yeah, well, take a look at this. Take a look at this monthly chart. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on our fifth red monthly chart. Now we've gone 6. We've gone 6 before. So there's no reason why we can't go and have a down month in March. The good news is that if we actually get to 6, there's a higher chance. It's like one of those memes with days without an accident, you know, months without a green candle, 0. So 1, our time is up. And if you subscribe to the gambler's fallacy where the odds are we'll eventually win, that 6th green candle. Army pipes. What? 100K bear market? That would only be an 18% dump. That's a Tuesday, not a bear market. Yeah, well, I kind of presuppose that the 126 would have been a higher target than we hit. Like in my bullish delusion, that bull market would have probably went to 200. Even 200 would be somewhat dissatisfying if we're calling a spade. And then crash, down to 100K. Oh my God, 100K. Out of 200K. Of course, I don't think we'll get over 200K ever. Did pianomattyb just say we're never getting over 200K? What is that? What is that TikTok thing? Is that it? Yeah, that is. We're never gonna get over 200K ever. No, that's not it. That's it. So it's an octave. More like this. You know what I'm talking about? That TikTok thing that goes around? Or what's this? That's it. No. Okay, it's getting annoying. Anyway, yeah, I just don't see it. We would have to do something novel. That would have to break the cycles. And we've never done that yet. So maybe we will. The only way we do it is double deed to the 76, Dave Digital, 200K not likely in 2026, according to Kelshi. No, I'm saying it's never going to happen. Just based on math, I think Wick opened up his things with arrest this man, he talks in maths. Yeah. Based on math. Well, never is an awful long time. Yeah, well, it will. The only way it gets over 200K is if something novel happens with the Kager, right? So we have a cycle that outperforms the last, and we just never have. So to a certain degree, that would be a cycle unicorn, right? It would be the first time. Now, there's a first time for everything, I suppose. If we want to start hashing out rationalizations, there is a first time for everything, but we haven't had it yet. Every cycle has a diminishing Kager, diminishing return, right? And so if you run the Kagers, if you've seen my depressing video about the Kagers, you will know that we went 36% and then we went 16%. So last cycle was 16. That's a 50% haircut. If we want to do a visual here, this 2021 from all-time high of 17, this one here, bingo, bongo, 36%. CAGR, 4-year. This one right here, all-time high to all-time high, 16% CAGR. And then it does the same, but it gets a little foggy in the 2012s, 2013s, right? It's like Diaperville. Like, what? When did your son start walking? I don't know, like somewhere between 10 months and a year and 1 month. I don't know, right? It's a little bit of a diaper gray area, blur area. And so if we follow the CAGR from 126 and we give it a 50% haircut like it does every single time, we end up at 170. And then if we give the next bull market, 29 to 33, another 50% haircut, we're at a 4% CAGR, right? Which takes us to slightly under 200. And the reason why I think it never gets over 200 at that point is that once the CAGR's, arguably right now the CAGR is below inflation and debasement, right? So in order for Bitcoin to exist as how we've seen it and viewed it and know it and love it as, you know, this decentralized store of value, it can't have a 16% lower CAGR, right? It just can't, because now what are we talking about? We're not even outdoing inflation and debasement, right? So that it comes down to like Moneyball, like that movie with the fat kid and Brad Pitt. You know, when they just crunch the numbers, there's a truth there, right? And maybe the truth isn't what people want to hear, obviously. Like it's not. Nobody wants to tune into a channel to hear Bitcoin will never go above 200K. And again, I hope I'm blissfully wrong, right? They would rather tune into Samson Mao and have him rip your mouth open and shove bullish nothings down. It's going to 1.3 million. Yeah, that's right. Open my 1.3 million. That's where Bitcoin's going. That's more appealing, right? That feels better than someone saying it's never going above 200K. Now, with this diminishing CAGR, it can get above 200K, but my argument is when it diminishes to a level, people will, like, think about this. Let's correlate interest, like sentiment and interest, with CAGR, right? Now, the interest in a 36% CAGR, right? Back 2021 bull run, very different, right? We all know it. We've all been here since then. That was a 36% CAGR. There's way more interest, right? Now we're in a 16% CAGR into 126. Half the interest, I would say more than less than half, right? Like if we're just judging from vibe and feel, how did the interest feel to you? Well, as a guy on YouTube, I'll tell you it's less, way less than half. You know, I would say it's 80% less interest, right? Now that's at a 16% CAGR. Now maybe there's some weird understanding subconsciously to people that 16% now is zero, right? So anything that's making 16% is zero, right? Because debasement and inflation is 16%. So if we're at 16%, I understand why there's no interest, if you follow me, right? Even the 126, if you got in at the market low, that's a great return. If you got in at the market low. Most people don't. We did here. You know, call it lucky or call it making videos every day of your goddamn life and just being in tune with the market. One or the other. So there is a way to make a return, but you have to start sniping bottoms, right? And who's good at that? Nobody, right? It's a tough one. So yeah, salt and salt. No 200K, ouch in the fields. Yeah. Well, listen, I hope I'm wrong, but so let's keep going with that interest, right? So we're at 16% CAGR, and then manifest the interest. It's almost zero if you really think about it. Like we call a spade, you know, the interest in Bitcoin is less than zero, really. And so if it goes to an 8% CAGR, which is just the math, right? If we don't get a Bitcoin unicorn, right, which is a cycle breaker, you know, a cycle that outperforms the last, if we don't get that unicorn, because it would be a unicorn, it'd be the first time it ever did it, then we'd go to 8%. And then what do you think the interest in an 8% CAGR goes if we're at a 16% CAGR and interest is, you know, 0 to 20%? Do you know what I mean? So now we're slightly under 200K with 8% gets us to 170. So if we do the next cycle, so can you imagine, for instance, sitting here till 2029 and peaking out at 170, which I hope I'm wrong. God damn. I hope I'm wrong. But if there's no interest now at 126, I don't think there's going to be much interest at 170 in 4 years. And so what we will have is a CAGR dog pile, right? We will have people like the smarter money not coming back because they don't want to put money into a 4% CAGR. And then we see, you know, knock-on effects of that dog pile. Well, if the smart money isn't doing it, then maybe no one's doing it. We kind of lose the interest we may or may not have had. That's my base case for under 200K, because even though with a diminishing CAGR it can eventually get above 200K, but no one's waiting 20 years for 200K Bitcoin, you know. Now maybe some people are, but there'll come a time where everyone has it'll be a different type of capitulation. It'll be like a time capitulation over disappointment capitulation type thing, where people will be like, you know what, maybe I should put my money in Tesla or something. You know, maybe an AI play will be the next survival stock, because of where I think we're getting into that phase of investing where it's now survival stocks. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not speculative stocks, it's survival stocks. What stock do I have to be in order to, you know, not be on UBI for the rest of my life? And it'll probably be like a AI stock, you know. My lasers go pew pew. Welcome to pianomattyb channel builders. Hey, listen, folks, I've been talking about it for a while. We're starting the fitness DCA next week. I got lights coming. It's just going to be in my basement, but you do need lights or else you won't be able to see. We're going to start doing the 10-minute workout. Now, listen, I actually think, because I'm always delusionally bullish, that it will be the greatest value you ever receive from a channel if you can commit to a 10-minute workout with me Monday to Friday at 9 o'clock. I know people working, right? But you can come back and watch it. That'll be the best value you have working into 2029. It'll outpace the Bitcoin CAGR disappointment, because in 4 years you'll be in the best shape of your life. And I would argue that's more important than money, right? So let's say we do have a Bitcoin unicorn and it goes to 300K, but you're fat and tired. Who cares, right? Can't even enjoy it. So the best thing to do while we're sitting in this kind of CAGR swamp is to maximize how you feel on a day-to-day basis, and that will be with DCA Fitness or Fitness DCA. I haven't really done making shirts, making tank tops. You know, I do it anyway, right? But I go to the squash club and do it, but I'll just do it. I have everything here. Like, you don't need a lot to do it at home. It's really, like, I would say $100 in gear, right? Maybe more. But I mean, you can't put, that's the best investment you'll ever do for yourself and your family, because you'll be, if I can pull this off and do this till 2029, whoever does it will be just much better. You'll be fit. You know, how many of us, want to be fit more than anything, right? So I always ask, like my friends that I went to high school with, they're all fat, right? And they'll ask me, how come you're not fat? Right? And I'll tell them, well, I know a secret. You have to exercise every day. And they laugh, right? But that is the secret. And if you can work that into your daily routine, that you exercise for 10 minutes a day, it's not like you're it's not slightly more than 7-minute abs. Okay, I'll give you that. They've got me on the 7-minute abs, but it's not like it's going to ruin, or you got to do all this crazy shit to get fit. You don't. You just got to work out. I mean, diet plays diet plays a huge factor too. If you're eating garbage, then God bless you. Right? But nothing's going to change if you're eating garbage. But this is where you get the momentum. You start doing the 10-minute workout, and in a couple months, you're like, you know what, I'm going to augment my diet. You know, maybe that'll, change things. And then that changes things. And now you're on a flywheel. Now you're exercising every day for the first time in your life. You're not eating the garbage that you've ate for the first time in your life, and you're feeling absolutely amazing. And then it's 2029, and and Bitcoin's at 170, but you don't care because you're at you're in the best health you've ever been in, and that's arguably much more important than any type of money. Because if you can't use the money, the one thing I learned about the squash clubs is there's lots of rich old men there that can't play squash or go golf or whatever rich old men do, right? They're just too unhealthy. So what's the money for? Nothing. To sit there and kind of, I don't know, hoard the money, if it were. Let's talk about some things. Anyway, that'll be next week once I get the things. It's on I put it on the $10 membership fee just to keep haters out, right? So it'll be the best $10 you've had. It doesn't matter, even if there's one person, I'm willing to do it. I do it anyway, right? And I know we can grow like a fitness community in here too, because it's more important. Fitness is more important, and it's only 10 minutes. So you don't have to watch it. It'll be live, but you can watch it when you want to work out. I'll walk you through everything, both the anything. What's Wick talking about here? It's like that short video about the lady who has the nail in her head, but she's mad at her hubby for explaining that the nail is the root of her issue rather than listening to her feelings. I must have missed it. I must have missed what that pertains to. Chadwick. Mickey 911 made better gains in my late 40s and early 50s, working out 20 minutes higher reps than I did spending 2 hours at the gym lifting heavy. Amen. That's what I mean, right? That's exactly true. So this is what happens to the people I know that work out for 2 hours a day. They stop because it's too much. Can't keep that up. It's you're never going to keep it up, right? You're going to go on vacation. This is what happens a lot is that vacation that people take for 2 weeks in Mexico, dodging bullets. They come back after 2 weeks of not working out and they're done. And it'll take them like another couple of years of, I'm going to start again. And they never do because 2 hours is stupid. You're only meant to run up the tree to escape the tiger or whatever is chasing you. You're not meant to outrun the tiger over the desert, right, for an hour. You'll die. You can't do that every day. You might do it once, right, and survive. But if you can run up the tree faster than the next guy, you're going to survive, and that's all we're really meant to do. Speaking of 40s and 50s, that's where this really kind of comes into play too for people. I know that the demo in this community is 35 to 60, so it's right in there. There's people think you can't really get fit in that. It's hard. It is harder, but not as hard as people think. So for instance, the part of the routine is chin-ups, and now people will be like, I can't do one chin-up. It's like, oh, that's okay, right? Because you just do one chin-up if you can, and you just try to do one chin-up until you can. And believe me, if you try to do one chin-up every second day, because we only do it we flip-flop days, in a month, you'll be doing maybe a few chin-ups. And then in a year, you'll be doing as many chin-ups as I do. Now, I could do more chin-ups than I do, but I just go 8, then I do 7, 6. Part of the routine is, 8 reps, 7, 6, 6 reps, 5 reps, 4 reps. So I don't know what that is, how many all together. That doesn't matter. I could do way more than 8, but that's not running up the tree. 8 is running up the tree real fast. 8, bang, 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 bang. And then it may seem unattainable to most, 8 chin-ups. Because chin-ups are, to me, that's like the full proof of how healthy you are is how many chin-ups you can do. Because it's like, it comes down to your body weight. Because if you're overweight, chin-ups are really hard. So everything starts to mold into what it takes. But anyway, that'll be fun. 66.6. That's not the one.
66.6. Right on the dot.
Almost. 66.59. It couldn't have flipped 66.6 for that one little piece. Now it's going down. On the ding dong. Nothing. We're not even back into this tiny little. I'm going to get rid of this. It's so stupid. It's just the weirdest channel ever. We're not even up at the 20 moving average, right? 20 moving average today, maybe a test of it, 67.9. Laserface, we're starting next week. Next week, I'll do the stream, and then a half an hour later, we'll do the 10-minute workout. But I mean, you don't have to do it at 9. You can watch it later, just as a guide. And the beauty about it all is that it's so easy that you can just do it whenever you want, wherever you want, with minimal amount of gear. So this now, to put it into perspective too, even if we got to this rejection zone on the daily, it wouldn't even seem like a massive, like that would be a pretty decent green candle, like maybe like this one, but it's nothing to write home about. And that's why it'd probably get rejected. It would like getting over 70. Oh my God, we're back bros would be up and at 'em like you wouldn't believe, right? But really, even if we got into this channel right here at 85, which, my gut feeling says no, because it would have to happen in the next 5 weeks, right? Have to happen in the next 5 weeks. Whether we'll get to, how far is that from here in 5 weeks? It's 30%. Yeah, I don't know. In my gut, I don't feel like we're going to be getting there in 5 weeks. In 9 or 10 months? Yeah. Now here's where it starts to get exciting though. Imagine 9 or 10 months, we're back up at 85. Not that exciting. But you've been doing the 10-minute workout and you're in the best goddamn shape of your life. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video.